Few politicians in modern British history have divided opinion quite like Nigel Farage. To some, he is the man who gave ordinary voters a voice and helped deliver Brexit. To others, he is a political showman who fueled division and resentment for personal and political gain. But beyond the headlines, the outrage and the slogans, who is Nigel Farage really? This is the story of the good, the bad, and the ugly truth. The good, the man who changed British politics. Before Nigel Farage, leaving the European Union was considered a fringe political idea. For decades, most major politicians accepted Britain's place inside Europe. But Farage refused to let the issue disappear. Through the UK Independence Party, better known as UKIP, he spent years campaigning for British sovereignty and withdrawal from the EU. At first, many in Westminster dismissed him. They stopped laughing when millions started listening. Farage's success did not come from traditional political power. He was not polished like many establishment politicians. He didn't speak in carefully rehearsed language. He appeared in pubs and radio shows speaking in a blunt, direct style. Supporters believed he was saying what others were too afraid to say. Many people felt ignored by Westminster politics. Concerns over immigration, wages, identity, and economic decline had been building for years. Farage tapped directly into those frustrations. Love him or hate him, Nigel Farage was an exceptionally effective political campaigner. In 2014, UKIP won the largest share of the UK vote in the European Parliament elections, something neither Labour nor the Conservatives expected. His pressure on the political establishment helped force then Prime Minister David Cameron into promising the Brexit referendum. And in 2016, Britain voted to leave the European Union. Farage had achieved what many once thought impossible: the bad, politics of division. Critics argue that Farage's political rise came at a cost, accusing him of building battles around fear and division. Immigration became one of the central themes. Supporters saw honest debate. Critics saw dangerous language and imagery. One moment became especially controversial. A poster titled "Breaking Point" suggested Britain was losing control of its borders. Opponents compared the imagery to far-right propaganda. Farage rejected accusations of racism, defending it as legitimate. But for many critics, the image became symbolic of how divisive modern politics had become. Farage built his reputation attacking the establishment, but he rarely had to implement the policies he promoted. Critics argue this allowed him to make bold promises without facing the consequences of governing. Supporters argue his role was to challenge the system, but opponents claim he avoided responsibility for solving problems. The ugly truth. Brexit exposed Britain's deep fractures. The ugliest truth about Nigel Farage may not actually be about the man himself. His rise revealed something much deeper. Long before Brexit, many communities felt abandoned. Manufacturing industries had declined. Wages stagnated. Trust in politicians collapsed. Regional inequality widened. Millions believed the system no longer worked. Farage did not create those frustrations, but he gave them a voice. The debate over Brexit remains deeply divided. Supporters argue for democratic control. Critics point to economic disruption. Some promises made proved more difficult to deliver, while supporters argue the UK hasn't yet taken full advantage of independence. The argument continues to shape British politics to this day. Nigel Farage's shadow looms large over the landscape. Farage's success was part of a wider global political shift, the age of populism. Anti-establishment figures gained support everywhere. Voters increasingly distrusted traditional politicians and mainstream institutions. Farage understood that frustration better than most. He used simple language and emotional messaging to build one of the most influential political movements in modern history. Conclusion. So who is Nigel Farage? A democratic reformer? A political opportunist? A patriot? A populist? The answer depends on who you ask. The good is that he changed British politics forever and gave millions of voters a sense of political representation. The bad is that his methods often intensified division and anger within British society. And the ugly truth is that his success exposed deep national fractures that had been ignored for decades. Whatever history ultimately decides, Nigel Farage did not simply react to modern Britain. He helped redefine it. You have been watching The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Truth. Like and subscribe.